We
Yeah.
were just talking before you got on, that I was like, oh, you're bummed on doing this shit, and it got you out of doing or decorating a Christmas tree.
Yes, yeah. I'm not the most Christmassy guy. Like when the day rolls around, I'm like, ah, fuck it. If you can't beat them, join them. But I'll be like fighting it the whole fucking way. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. My girlfriend is like super Christmassy, and so she has been like desperate to put Christmas songs on. And today's the first day, and I'm already like fucking at my wit's end with it. But hey,
I
it's
mean,
cool.
is it. Where are you?
I'm at home right now. Like I'm legit at home in like my fucking little pit, which is like yeah, where I just smoke and fucking play video games and play guitar.
Wait, so
So
you have. Hey, by the way, let me ask you about video games really quick. I'm thinking about getting a PS5 or an Xbox
yeah,
One. Like, which one do you have?
I have a PS5. I would recommend the PS5. I think it's better. I think it's a better console. Plus, it's got better exclusive games, which is what I'm playing right now. I'm playing God of War right now. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
everybody
would.
keeps talking about God of War.
I recommend the PS5. It's a little bit more expensive. It's a little bit hard to get hold of, I believe, but just do it. Xbox.
I'm on like a waiting list on Amazon for it. Like they have to send me a fucking they're like if they email you with you 72 hours, you're like then you can apply for it.
Yeah, it's
So that's
insane,
my
man.
fucking thing.
Within a day,
Dude,
it was like $800 for a PS5, which
yeah,
yeah,
I know. And especially right now it's fucking really it's really not good cuz it's like
gouging
we are
people's
writing
entertainment. We need it.
I,
Fucking your entertainment is being fucking monetized by people who are just I don't know, sat around sniping fucking eBay links on Amazon, which is
I know,
fucking
and there's
insane.
like these fucking 14-year-old like really good hackers that they're like great at snagging everything and then reselling them. Dude,
Yeah.
did you hear this fucking story about there's a kid that claimed to be LeBron James's son or some shit like that, and
Okay.
he made millions and millions and millions of dollars by selling Nike shoes.
Oh shit. Was
Did
he
you
the
hear that?
I think because I heard as well that like one of the top executives at Nike had to step down because her son was doing the same shit, and whether it was him who was
Yes.
saying he was yeah that's it he was saying he was LeBron's son, but really his mum worked at that she was like high up at Nike, and she resigned over that shit. I was just gonna say that 'cause it's crazy. These kids are now just like sat at home and they're fucking millionaires from reselling shoes to fucking idiots like me. I mean, fuck it,
It's also
get your
it's
bag,
all
but
get your bag, dude. But it's also like at the same time, I guess if your mom is a high level like executive at Nike, like you don't really need to do that. But there's
no,
something inherently bad in you where you're
yeah,
like, I have to be bad. Which respect, I honestly like kind of respect it. You're like, if you don't have to be shitty, you still are.
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
dude. It is the so I don't know how time works over there. Are you in the future?
I am currently in the future. Yeah, trust me, it doesn't get better, but yeah, we're in the future right now.
So you're like, is it December 1st or 2nd?
First, still technically the first, although I have just come back from the even further in the future, so I'm back in time now because I was just in Asia. So I think my body is kind of telling me it's tomorrow, but
Are
it's
yeah,
now.
are you fucking burnt, dude?
I'm merging time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am. I feel like fucking. I feel like I've been in the
Would you just
DeLorean, man. It's
yeah,
crazy.
you just did like 3 nights or
We
something.
did
What'd you do? Bali?
Southeast Asia. Yeah, we played Bali. Well, it was all Indonesia because this is crazy, and it's kind of pertinent to the month and the song and everything, I guess. But basically, in Indonesia, one of our songs off of our third record is like a radio hit out there, which and it's a song that no one really cares about here,
Which
which is
song?
crazy.
Which song?
Wish you were here. That song is like a radio song out there. And so is December. Our song December is like huge out there too. And specifically in Indonesia and like a few other parts of Southeast Asia. But we were just like, fuck it. We had a big offer to go and play out there because normally when you would play shows out there, like it's kind of a break even or it's a loss tour, and you kind of just do it you just do it to just travel and to go
Yeah,
play
yeah,
shows.
yeah.
But we had like an offer where we actually could have made some fucking money. So we were like, oh shit, okay, like cool, let's go test the waters out there with like a new promoter and stuff. And yeah, crazy, just wild. We played a show with like an airplane, like there was a plane like at the show, and that was our green room. Our green room was a Boeing 737, and
Is that like a gutted out Boeing or a
yeah,
Boeing that was used? Like it's like something that they used
I
as like
guess it was
you could
maybe.
actually take flight.
Oh no! Like it was on bricks. I mean, I don't know. Things out there are crazy. Like in terms of health and safety and shit. If they could have taken that thing off, they probably would have. They probably would have just been like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. But
Dude, I mean, like you have to be. Are you happy to be home? How long are you home for?
I'm home like all of December now, which is good. We tend to give ourselves Christmas off as a band, like generally. I mean, we've definitely recorded records sometimes in December, and sometimes ran tours like right up to Christmas and stuff. But yeah, just giving ourselves the December off just to chill and be at home with family before next year kind of goes crazy again.
Well, dude, the first thing that like when I that somebody told me when it was my first like year working maybe like 10 years ago in like music. They were like the music industry takes off from Thanksgiving to like February.
Yeah,
Like they just fucking don't
yeah,
go to work.
yeah.
Like they just straight up don't go to work.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating as a band sometimes because like being in a band, like it doesn't really ever stop. Like it's you're always kind of wanting things to happen, and so we're sat there like all through December, most of November, and like until like February, where we're just like, okay, is everyone back in the fucking room? Because we have 2 months worth of like shit logged up while everyone's just been fucking jacking off at home, which is fair enough.
That's
I don't
just
know. It's
dude,
just
and like especially with us, we're like we need answers on
mm,
emails. Like I need an answer, and everybody's like, I'm out of
out of
office.
office
I'm out of
for
office.
2 months. It sucks, man.
2 months, dude. It's especially if you're I'm not good at just sitting around and not
No.
doing anything. I'm really not. It's and occasionally like it freaks me out if I have like 1 or 2 days off.
Yeah.
Like unless we just did Vegas, but
Mm.
I also went home for Thanksgiving. I flew from my parents' house to the Vegas thing and then flew back for Thanksgiving. And I was really tired, and I was like, great, 1 day off. Like, I'll have 1 day off. It's like
Yeah.
only when it's like that where I'm like very happy. Other than that, I start getting antsy. I start fucking like sweating, and I'm like, I have to do shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
just
feel,
not in our nature to
yeah.
not to do that. Did you guys ditch your fucking label? Do you ditch your label?
No. Well, kind of. Sort of. Like we're actually. I don't know if this is common knowledge now, but we're back. We're back on the label. We were independent for a while. Felt good to be independent for a while, but got to play the game. And it's one of those though where like we were always kind of looking for a label. We were kind of well, it was weird, man. This is weird, but let's do it because this is probably actually the shit that people want to hear in terms of like what it's like to be in a band, in terms of like the decisions that you make and the stuff that kind of goes into that. Because we were actually at a point in our career, and we still are kind of at this point in our career where like the chips are like on. We have all the chips at the minute. Like the ball is in our court because we weren't on a label, and so we kind of had that as like, well, we don't need one. However, there are pros and cons to being on a label, and we were basically just like, well, we're more than prepared to do this ourselves, but if a label comes around with the right offer and can kind of like bolster things where we don't have to spend so much fucking money and like, basically put all of that work onto our management. And so yeah, we ended up resigning just because it made sense. Plus, like that way we get a little bit of ownership of our previous stuff as well,
Mm-hmm.
like because we have our back catalog tied up and with Hopeless, they own that shit. We signed it away to them, so if we want more ownership of our stuff, we re-signed to get a little bit more of that. And it's just a case of everyone at Hopeless is good. We've worked with them for years. We're pretty happy with the working relationship. Every label ultimately is the fucking same as well. Major labels are even more of a fucking shit show. Like the
Yeah,
horror
it's
stories you
like,
hear of bands
dude,
signing on majors and stuff.
living in a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it makes it's so hard to get things past a major label as an alternative band because they just don't get it. So at least by staying with an independent label, we're working with people who understand us, who have known us since we were, little kids and grown up and stuff. So Yeah, it's just a case of like weighing up. Like if you go independent, you're taking on a lot of that work yourself. And like I'm way too much of a fucking scatterbrain to stay focused on one thing. I'm good to just like throw ideas at people and kind of be like, make it fucking happen.
and have it
Um,
happen.
yeah. Whereas if the responsibility is like, oh shit, I've got to be the dude sending the emails, doing the figures, doing all that shit of like a project that I'm involved in, like that's when I just get super fucking overwhelmed. Like I like the creative process, and it's like if people can handle the all the boring shit, then that's great. So it's like it's always that toss up of like do it yourself with a shitload of effort and a shitload of work, which is which will pay off in the long run, or be smart, sign a good deal, and not have to worry about that shit, and just focus on writing good record, like good music. And there's always time in the future to be a fully independent band. Like we tested the waters with that in terms of like what it would be like to release a single as an independent band, like what that check looks like every 3 months, like coming back, and yeah,
Did you do
it's
that with Shut the Fuck Up?
yeah, Shut the Fuck Up was kind of like a test of waters of like, all right, how the fuck do we release a song by ourselves with no label, sort of like on the back end of it? And it is a lot of work, man. Like our management busted their asses even just for one song to like make sure that all of that shit happened smoothly, it was marketed and all that shit. And so yeah, we it's been kind of an interesting 6 months for us
Well,
because it's been like yeah, we're shifting to being back on a label and yeah, and as well going through the ringer of just like meeting different labels and stuff initially. Like I said, it's almost a case of like better the devil you know a lot of the time. Like, you know, labels are labels and they'll always want their bottom line, but the good ones will respect a creative vision and respect that, respect you as people. And I just think, the fact that we've been with Hopeless since I was 18, 19 years old or
yeah.
whatever, it's like, yeah, like Tobin is a legend. Eric Tobin, and I'm sure people listening to this will know who Tobin is. Like, he's kind of just been a staple in our band and in our lives for so long, and it's like we trust him anyway. So what's the point in trying to build up all these new relationships when it could just be the same, if not
The
worse
guy
off?
that we all fucking know. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
I know fucking, I've known Tobin for fucking, I don't know, maybe over a decade now. Like probably same as you. And he is my go-to guy. And TJ and I are, it's an interesting thing to talk about because I was like, fuck, dude. Because TJ and I are starting a label. We're starting a
Nice.
label. And I was like, fuck. I was like, what if we put, and we have the ability to put out like a song, an album,
Yeah.
3 albums. We have like all that, and I was like, what if we did one with fucking Neck Deep?
Yeah, had this have been a year, have you told us this a year ago? We'd maybe
Yeah,
be
well, we didn't
talking.
know, dude. We didn't want to. We didn't want to. I didn't want to. We didn't want to promise anything that we
For
couldn't
sure, for sure. Which is a
for
mistake
like
that
doing
labels
now.
often fucking make. Labels, and
And I
they
just didn't want to do it. I was gonna hit you guys. I was literally was gonna hit you guys as soon as I found out that we are gonna do it. But then you have to do all like the fucking like term sheet and then like the long form term sheet. And until everything is, we got our LLC with them yesterday.
nice.
So I
Congrats.
know
That's fucking sick, though, man. That's great.
dude. It's a really it's a nuts thing. I'll tell you more about it because there's probably stuff that we can do that we can talk to like Hopeless about, and we can
For
put
sure.
shit out together if that's something you want to. But I've always told you guys, I really, have respected the art and the like, not just the music, but like the art and the marketing that you guys put behind it. Because I think it's, you're looking at a band as a total thing. It's
I,
not just like, all right, there's some people that like, there's some bands and some artists that are just like, we live just to make music, be in the studio, and then go and tour. I think that, Neck Deep is a lifestyle. I think Neck Deep, the people that love Neck Deep for everything about Neck Deep. And so it's always been something that I've really respected you guys about. But it is December. We're gonna have to do the thing. We're gonna have to do the thing where we talk about the song and how Mark Hoppus came to be. And I know it's gonna. This is how I don't know how many times you've probably fucking talked about this. I'm sorry we have to do this. I already apologize. I pre-apologize for asking you to go back to this.
it's all good. It's all part of the territory. And in a way, like I guess I would be super jaded if I was fed up of talking about a song that's like really successful for us and that gets us a lot of
gives us a lot of love and a lot of appreciation for people. But like Mark Hoppus featured on that song, and like regardless of because the story behind it really isn't that interesting, which is the sad part. I feel like people always ask like, God, were you like in the studio together? But no, unfortunately, like the way the sausage is made is a lot more dull than the actual thing. So, but yeah, it's still just to be able to talk about like, yeah, Mark did get to sing on that song with us and kind of throw that out as a reminder. It's nice because that was always something that like, yeah, one of those things. Like I said, like we achieved so much the band so early on. Like the literal aim of this band, if there ever was an aim, like an ultimate goal, would have just to have even been at somewhere near Blink's radar, like even just in the far distance. And so the fact that we toured with them and Mark has, sung on one of our biggest songs is, yeah, I'm not tired of talking about it. It's all good.
Yeah, no, I know. I want to.
Oh,
There's a lot of stuff that I want to. You know what I mean? Like when people are like,
"This month, I've already done it today." I had
look,
I know, like it's that time of year. We got it.
It's that time of year, dude. Like, and it's it's just the way it goes. But the cool thing about it is that now you wrote a song that is sort of like, when fucking what's the dude? Billy Joe like gets the fucking that he's like when September, like he gets the when September ends thing, like you're sort of turning yourself into the lore of December, which is a part of history and a part of culture in a cool way. So like congratulations for the next 4 billion years that you're going to be alive having to talk about this song.
Well, it's cool because like I think this year actually is the first year we talked about treating it as like an actual Christmas song, kind of like it's a little bit of a Christmas song because we don't have one, and like Christmas songs generally are fucking corny. Like good ones are good, but to take a stab at one that doesn't land is often a bit like that. So we kind of inadvertently wrote like a sad Christmas song, and that's one of my favorites too. Like I like Christmas songs that aren't necessarily like bells and fucking it's Christmas, you know what I mean? But just something that you can play and that fits the mood kind of thing.
Well, it feels cold, dude. It feels like it should feel, which is listening to it in, like I fucking, just for the fuck of it, I put it on before this interview. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. I know the song like the back.
Spike in plays we've had on that song today already.
Dude, did you see it? Can you see the analytics of like how fucking nuts it goes up?
Seb is the lurker. Seb is the internet dweeb who is like in all of that. He's in the mainframe with like all the fucking numbers flying around, and he's like, yeah, this. Like he's sending it to us. So, yeah, like we saw the numbers like massively spike. I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't know if I swipe up on this if I'm still on the call. But
yeah, let's fucking see.
Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So it's number one on the alt talk playlist on TikTok. Just
congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm trying to find the thing. Oh, here we go. Like right now, it usually floats at around about 1,000 people listening, but there was like 8,000 people listening to December earlier. And
dude, that's fucking so cool. Does it feel weird? Does that feel weird to you? Like, I mean, at some point, do you, or are you just like used to it now? Like, at some point, does it just feel so real? Because everything that I do when we do these like big fucking things, I'm like, this just feels surreal, and like I don't know if I really even deserve this.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. Like you said, that like the imposter syndrome you can get from things is crazy sometimes. But I think you have to like kind of just learn to accept that like you're supposed to be here, like your hard work got you here. But also the other thing with me, like I think honestly, just the way my fucking brain works, like numbers to me don't mean shit. Numbers, I'm just always like, I don't fucking know. Like when people say 8,000 people listen to your song right now, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's cool. But like it to me doesn't get like I said, we just came back from Asia, like seeing 8,000 people in front of me and hearing people from the other side of the world, like being immersed in this culture which is so different to what we're used to, but they love Neck Deep. That's the shit that makes me go, fuck And I guess kind of the same thing when you're playing live. Like, holy shit, this is like the real tangible evidence that what I'm doing is cool. Numbers to me just don't compute. I see numbers and my fucking ears start ringing. So, yeah, but you know, it's still wild to me. And but we also talk about this a lot in the band. Like, I don't know what needs to happen to ever feel like you've truly arrived in life. Like, I think just in life in general, it's like
I don't think it ever, dude. I don't think it ever happens. As if you are anything like me, I think it's like you walk off stage in fucking Malaysia, see all these millions of people, and then you're like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do next? Like, how do we do
bigger? Like, I want more.
How do we? Yeah, and you know, you get that like feeling for like a second. When I do like, if I do this, like if I do this with Cameron, we do a fucking awesome radio show, I feel elated for like, I don't know, 5 minutes afterwards, and I'm like, now what? Now what? How do we do the next thing? How do we fucking keep going? How do we?
Happiness, man, it's such a fleeting like emotion, and that's the thing. Like, people will be like, wow, this must be like and I know it's the best job in the world, and every day I'm like, I've got a fucking good life. I know I got a good life. But, like, it doesn't mean that it's, like, constant, perpetual happiness. Like, that shit just doesn't exist. Like, some people, like, especially, like, friends that I haven't seen in a long time will be like, God, everything must be so sick. It's like, no, I'm still probably just as stressed as you about one thing or another or whatever it might be. Or, like, you know, I'm not just, like...
It just looks different. It just literally looks different, dude. Like, it just looks different. We just, like, somehow chose a career where... we, you know, it's like it's a fucking fictional career is what we chose. Like when you're a little kid, we're just like, you know, people are like, what do you want to be? They're like, I don't know, doctor, lawyer, fucking rock star. You know, you take the people that are like, a percentage of those people go and try and do it and fail. Percentage of those people try and go do it and fail. Percentage of those people try and go do it and fail. And then we're the ones that kind of like did it. So I don't feel like it feels real.
Yeah.
Like it feels like something that is not supposed to be real. But dude, like you're saying, like hard work, and then it obviously like talent, like it's got to be that like very, very pure mixture of those things. I think
it's a big melting pot of like timing is so crucial. And like,
timing is.
We never knew what we were doing when we were writing songs that they would like take off with. We didn't think like we're gonna be guaranteed big band. We were just like, fuck it, let's write songs. It just so happened to be people wanted pop punk then and there, and were looking for new music, and then maybe a little bit of the talent. Although you know you'll struggle to find me ever bigging myself up too much, but the talent and the idea and the intention was all there too. And so, yeah, it's this big melting pot stuff. But like you said, it's never going to feel real. Because, you know, like I said, we just did a fucking swing on one song. And, you know, fast forward 10 years later, and here we are. So that's always going to be something that we struggle with is like, you know, it doesn't really feel quite real. And it doesn't quite feel like I've arrived, even though it is this really strange thing where like you're so lucky and so in awe of it that it's like just beyond comprehension. But at the same time, like, you know, you've still got like a long way to go and like more to achieve. Like once you get one thing out of the way, like you said, what's the fucking next thing? So we talk about it a lot as a band. Is like, will we ever arrive? Will we ever have that moment where we go like, yep, done it. Completed, done it, finished it, like we're here. Like even if you
I mean, like, dude, you like look at Metallica, right? Like they just put out a new tour. They're doing a fucking 2 year. They could have stopped in the early 90s and been they just haven't. There's something fucking with it. And also I think it's kind of bullshit if people like don't like Metallica, you're not a real Metallica fan. Like I'll listen to all of their new shit. I don't give a fuck. So like I don't give a shit. I've been a Metallica fan for fucking ever.
Yeah, if you're a Metallica fan, you're in it regardless. Like, Metallica are actually one of the bands that, like, we, like, loosely reference when we're, like, just talking about, just, like, how our career sort of, like, or at least musically how it evolves. Because, like, Metallica have always done something different with their records. Like, no record is exactly the same, you know. Even now, they haven't gone, like, okay, we'll just do another Ride the Lightning. and they're still trying to push it out there. And so that's something that we look at and go like, yeah, well, it's worked for them, and like I think that variation and I think Bring the Horizon probably are another band that take a leaf out of their book too, because they do something different every time, and not that we're trying to like completely reinvent ourselves, but like you got to keep it fresh. You can't keep doing the same shit over and over. I mean, otherwise you never have arrived. You would just go, well, shit.
Dog, I remember talking to you guys. I remember talking to you guys like between first album, second album, third album, and every single one of you guys were like, it sounds different. It sounds different. We tried to do something a little bit different, and we love this one fucking more than the last one. We threw our fucking asses into this one. Like every single one of you guys was like, we put everything we had into this last album, and between every album cycle. So it's exciting to hear, and that's why I liked fucking Shut the Fuck Up so much, because it sounded, I was like, oh, is this what this album is going to sound like? Is this what this album is going to sound like?
It's
I'm like, yes, dude.
For sure. I think where we're at now is like, we did our like, I think every band has like an allowance of maybe at least one, maybe two weird records that people don't quite get, or like not necessarily bad records, but just like different records and ones that are a little bit more experimental. And I feel like our last one was maybe that. Plus, it was released in COVID and all that shit, so that was just weird anyway. But I do feel like that third record was our record where we were like, we have to do something different. Like, just because of the timing of it sometimes is even crucial. Like, you almost can't make the same record twice in a row, but you can kind of space things out a little bit and write for what is sensible for the time and what makes sense for like where the band is. So for where we were at the time, it was the perfect album for us to write. And like, no matter what like numbers or chart positions or streams or whatever say, like it's still a record that we're like super proud of, and that I'll still put on and listen to front to back and be like, I fucking love that record.
Dude, I agree with you.
Maybe it just doesn't have the same hooky kind of perfectly timed sort of anthems that people were necessarily looking for, but that's fine, because what we learn from that and what we take from that is we have an understanding of how far that boundary is now. We know like what people like and what they don't like. We knew before writing ADAI, people obviously love the pop punk shit. Like we could just write pop punk songs forever and it would be fine. But we don't necessarily want to do that. So the place that we're in now is like, now we feel like within ourselves and within the music scene in general, maybe it's ready for like some straight up pop punk again, or maybe pop punk but with that's more refined, a bit more of a flavor, a bit more intention. And so that's kind of what we're going for. Like we'll take what we learned from the last record in terms of the expansiveness and just experimenting a little bit with how far we can kind of push the sound, rein it in a little bit, and put in what people love from previous records, because we're ready to write like more of a pop punk record this time. Because with All Distortions, we weren't really. We were like, we don't want to write a pop punk record. Nothing that we were sat at home when we picked up a guitar. None of us were writing just thrashy 4-chord pop punk songs. It was more expansive, more thought out, more kind of it had some more intention to it than just like let's have fun. It was like let's write well crafted, meaningful songs that feel a certain way. Whereas now we're like feeling less pressure maybe to be anything different or do anything different. So it's kind of like sick, yeah. Sam can pick up a riff, play and we go sick, let's write a pop punk song. Whereas maybe 4 years ago we might have gone it's a little too pop punk.
Well, dude, I mean, it's like let me ask you this. It's like, are you the same person that you were 10 years ago? It's like, if you were, there would be something fucked up with you. Yeah. It's like, that's the craziest thing in the entire world. I'm not the same person that I was last week. Yeah. I'm not the fucking same person that I was yesterday. And for people that I think like I think it's a ridiculous thing for fans to go, just do that again. Do the thing that I like again.
Yeah.
There's literally two. I think the only band that did do the thing that I like again and was successful and I listened to it this week, was Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. It was like fucking right in a row. It was just like, did that thing, fucking 2 perfect albums, they did it, and like, and then they moved, dude. They
have done that 3 times in a row and it didn't land. They just do that thing. But instead, Blink went and wrote a third, in my opinion, perfect record, but that was totally different. That was way, way different from anything they'd done before, because you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It burns you out as an artist. You'll
drive yourself fucking nuts.
Yeah, we had fallen out of love with pop punk a little bit, you know. We had kind of, and maybe our band had something to do with that, because I don't know, we were just like, whatever, you know. We kind of just wanted to push the boat out a little bit, and yeah, I think it worked out though. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like I said, we learned from it, and now we can take that and take the best bits of that into the new record. But yeah, you know, we're happy to kind of go back to doing what we do well. We've experimented, and we can kind of take the pressure off now. Like, we feel like we don't really have anything to prove to anyone, and nobody really expects that much of us either, other than please just keep writing music. Like, anything kind
dude,
of
look, as a, you know, I'm in a weird position because I get to do these big shows, but I also get to talk to artists that I like. I'm in a really strange position. Like, I'm also a fake artist, right? So like, I get to do the thing, but then also fucking talk to you, like, people like you, where I'm a Neck Deep fan. So when you guys put out an album, I listen to it from front to back, and I love it because I am a fan of yours, you know? And so I think that it's not, I personally, you know, but I'm a little bit older. I want you to change. I want you to grow. I want you to evolve as people. If you didn't, then I'd be like, okay, I'm moving forward. What the fuck is going on with these other fucking bands? They're just like staying in the same place. Then I'd be like, you know? So as a fan and as somebody that does the thing, I understand always where you're coming from. In particular, every time I talk to you, I really do understand a lot of what you're saying, and it always is really, really fucking nice to talk to you, dude. Do you want to continue going so you don't have to do anything like Christmas tree shit? Do you want to wait, do you have a guitar?
Yeah.
Dude, you want to do December? Oh, I mean, he's got a guitar. Ben, do you have a guitar? You've got a guitar. There it is.
Guitar, yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm getting myself into here, but we can try it. I could play you a new Neck Deep song. Nah.
We can't play it on the. We're only able to do this like on the podcast. We can't play it on the radio because it'll like. There's what is it called, Cameron? Something stupid. Yeah, noise gain. But we can play it on the podcast. So if you want, dude, just cruise as close as you can to like wherever you can. Get in a there. This is
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play a chorus of a song, right? And because it's a song that I'm just fucking around with, right? And it's not even written. It might be a song in a year's time. But I like the chorus. I like the words. It's a song about your parents and about how they fuck you up, but they don't mean to, but they do. And you love them regardless. And they'll fuck you up, but you love them. Anyway. Let me just... Fuck you up, your parents do. Okay, yeah. They fuck you up, your parents do. They may not mean to, but they do. They may not mean to, but they do. Whoa, they fuck you up, your parents do. Do as I say, not as I do. When I was your age, I was just like you. That's what I'm working on.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
But if you can imagine that, like, all punky and like,
yeah.
You up your parents do. They may not mean to, but they do. They may not mean to, but they do. Wow. Yeah. So that's what I do,
Fuck.
actually. This is what this room is for, is I sit in this room and just play very bad chords. 4 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the truth. That's all you need.
Dude, thank you for doing that. This is the first time I've ever had anybody do that on any of these fucking things that I do.
I definitely fucked up the noise gate there, though. I'm telling you that.
Oh, no. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you. It sounded like shit, but you can tell exactly what the fuck you were doing.
Good.
It's great. I love that. Thank you so much, dude. You can literally sit here and pretend like you're on the phone, so you don't have to decorate the Christmas tree. You know, like when you're a little kid and you have to like write a book report and it has to be like a certain amount of pages, and then you just do the filler. You're like, in this, that's like kind of what I do with some
Wikipedia, and then just change like a few words.
Yeah, I'm like, how do I add more words where it's just fluff? You can just pretend like you're talking to somebody, so you don't have to decorate the Christmas tree. But dude,
I should
Ben Barlow,
go and help.
Ben Barlow from Neck Deep, dude. Thank you so much, man. It is always really, really fun to talk to you. I really enjoy it. I'm happy that we got to do this, especially on such an important day in Neck Deep history.
Yeah, it's Neck Deep.
It is.
It's Neck Deep.
Accept it, dude. You did it. It's your fucking fault.
I know. It's all my fault. I did it to myself.
All right.
Song. Fuck.
You did it. You wrote a Christmas song, dude. Go decorate a fucking Christmas tree. Tell the guys I said hey and I love them. I really appreciate you taking the time, Doc. I'm always around anytime you need me.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Sweet.